To reconnect with your posture. And just do a scan from the crown of your head down to the tip of your toes, allowing your body to come back into balance. And shift your focus back to the breath. Let your focus ride the breath all the way in and all the way out. Attending to the breath without trying to control it, without judging it. Just be with it. And shifting from single pointedness, allow your mind to become reflective, listening to the guided meditation on the graduated path. Thinking, I take refuge in the Holy Guru, the essence of all Buddhas, original grantor of all holy teachings, and Lord of all supreme beings. Please, Guru Buddha, bestow on me the ability to unify my mind with the Dharma and be successful in practicing Dharma in order to achieve the graduated path. May no hindrances occur while achieving this path. Please bless me to realize that I've received a perfect human rebirth, which is highly meaningful and for many reasons difficult to obtain, but perishable, transient, and fragile, decaying in the shortest moment because of its changeable nature. Thus my death is definite, but its actual time is most indefinite. Considering the implications of that. Please bless me to realize fully the evolution of karma, of samsara, from uncontrolled rebirth to death to rebirth, and to follow day and night the three trainings of the path: higher conduct, ethics, higher concentration, and higher wisdom, which are the main methods to release me from samsara. But as each sentient being has been my mother, and as most of them are in extreme suffering, please bless me to bring success to all by renouncing the perfect happiness of self and practicing the Bodhisattva's deeds. May I have courage to bear hardship for the sake of all. And please bless me to follow quick Vajrayana teachings by feeling the depth of suffering of sentient beings and their pressing need for me to develop my own mind. And visualize above the crown of my head a lotus and moon disk. Upon these is the great treasury of compassion, Aryatara, mother of all enlightened beings, who is oneness with my kind root guru. My guru is seated in the full lotus position within a transparent bubble of rainbow-colored light, is pink in complexion, and wears saffron robes and a pandit's hat. His right hand is at his heart in the gesture of teaching the Dharma, and holds a vajra and stem of white lotus that blooms beside his right ear. His left hand rests on his hip. It holds a bell and stem of another white lotus that blooms beside his left ear. At my guru's heart is Aryatara in female form, green in color, and seated in the dancing posture within a rainbow bubble. Her left leg is bent up, her right leg is outstretched. Her left hand is at her heart, in the mudra symbolizing the triple gem, holding the stem of a blued poly flower. Her right hand, extended over her right knee, is in the mudra of granting sublime realizations. She is beautifully adorned with jeweled ornaments and scarves, and at her three places bear the syllables Om Ah Hum. At her heart is a lotus and moon seat, on which stands a radiant green syllable tongue. Rays of green light radiate in all directions from the tongue and invoke all the enlightened beings of the 10 directions. They are all absorbed into Aryatara and become one. And think that you say to her, please remain above my head until I achieve enlightenment. And then the prayers. Page 8. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. And so then we'll pause at the confession verse. With my body, speech, and mind, I devoutly prostrate. I offer all offerings, both real and imagined. All sins and offenses amassed from beginningless time, I confess. And so we pause here and generate the mind of regret, feeling that Tara is bearing witness with perfect compassion, perfect wisdom. So before her compassionate gaze, we think of actions of today and in the past that need to be purified. And so physically, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, verbally lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, idle gossip. Mentally, things like covetousness, desirous attachment, ill will, anger, wrong views, ignorance. So just let your mind explore physically, verbally, and mentally those things you'd like to purify, listing them to yourself before her compassionate gaze. Being clear and specific with your regret without slipping into guilt or excuses or justification. Just clean, clear, recognition of faults to be faults, physically, verbally, mentally. And then shift to meditating on rejoicing, thinking I rejoice in all virtuous actions of holy and ordinary beings. With ordinary beings, starting with oneself, what are the ways that you've stayed on your path today and in general? Physically, saving life, respecting the boundaries and possessions of others, honoring the relationships of yourself and others. Verbally, having honesty, maybe mediation skills or connecting people. Speaking with kindness, with purpose. Mentally generating things like patience, loving kindness, wisdom. Allow yourself to rejoice in the ways in which you have been staying on the path and have been deepening it even today and in general. Just a quiet assessment. No pride, just rejoicing. And continuing the 7-minute prayer. O Gurus and Buddhas, please remain until samsara ends and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. All my virtues and those of all others I dedicate to the great enlightenment. This ground, anointed with perfume strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. The objects of my attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, and my body, wealth, and enjoyments. Without any sense of loss, I offer this collection. Please accept it with pleasure and bless me with freedom from the 3 poisons. Yadam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamiyatayami. Then visualize and request. Please bless me to purify all obscurations of my body, so that it will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajrabody. And she sends white light from the Om at her brow, coming to your own brow, purifying all killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, anything harmful that you've done physically, being purified by this white light. Om Tari Tutari Turi Soha Om Tari Tutari. Please bless me to purify all obscurations of my speech, so that it will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra speech. In response, she sends red light from the Ah at her throat, comes to enter my own throat. All negativities of lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and gossip, completely purified. Red light. Om Tari Tutari Turi Soha. Please bless me to purify all obscurations of my mind, so that it will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra mind. She sends blue light from the whom at her heart, coming to our own hearts, thinking my mind is purified of all covetousness, ill will, wrong views, all the harmful things happening mentally, cleared by this blue light. Om Tari Tutari Turi Soha. Please bless me to purify all delusions and subtle obscurations to omniscience, so that my body, speech, and mind will become one with Guru Tara's holy body, speech, and mind. Now the 3 colored beams emanate simultaneously from the Om Ad Hum syllables, entering my 3 places, purifying all delusions and subtle obscurations. My body, speech, and mind become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind. And my root guru dissolves into Aryatara, who melts into green light, which flows into me. And we think instantaneously my wrong conceptions that I and all other phenomena are self-existent, together with my dualistic mind and its views, disappear, becoming completely empty. Not even a trace of them remains. And from emptiness arises Tara in the space in front, facing us. At her heart is the mantra garland. Green light radiates from all the letters of the mantra, spreading in every direction that purifies the negative karmas, gross delusions, and subtle obscurations to omniscience of all sentient beings. Om Tari Tutari Turi Soha. Keeping the mantra going under your breath, thinking the light also brings offerings and hooks back blessings. Tari Tutari Turi Soha. And generate the power of resolve, thinking physically, verbally, and mentally, what can I do differently tomorrow to change the negative pattern, to break the habit, to stop creating negative karma and suffering? So make a very small practical plan, physically, verbally, and mentally. Something you can correct, even if only for the rest of the night. Think that that negative karma has been completely purified. Let it go. Tara then dissolves into light and absorbs into you, blessing your body, speech, and mind. And we dedicate. May I quickly become Guru Arya Tara and lead each and every sentient being to her enlightened state because of these merits. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that is not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and remember emptiness. Okay. So you can relax your attention. And our next session is tomorrow morning at 7:15, and we'll start with the short white Tara practice, which is on page 29 of the PDF, and it's the very first white Tara practice in the section, and it's only 1 page long. So if you want to have it open and ready, you can, but I'll remind you in the morning as well. And here are some pictures of white Tara. So if you want to come and take one, they're here on the book as soon as I go. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Anna.
No, that's super cute.
Hi there.